Hi, happy to join you again. I am going to speak on the issue of the most powerful person in the world title. The first thing I want to really interject is that this is part two of something that I've already stated. I've already stated some of the terms as part of a series that I'm doing in an interview with allvoices.com. I really like that platform. Whoever is the initiative or whoever is the force behind that, I really think it's a great platform. It's a great place to discuss things in a very journalistic and as well as open and honest communication style. All right, so this is part two of that particular question, and there are three parts to this answer because I'm going to answer it. And when people ask me, how is it that I am the most powerful person in the universe? And let me go ahead and set up the frames of what you should be considering. For one, each and every person is in a plane of their own making. So everybody is in their own separate planet, basically. And everyone is going to have access to all the tools that I have access to. So this is based on a very objective, as well as, objective just means it's a fact. It's going to be a fact in everybody's living existence. And there's also the subjective, and I'll kind of explain as we go along. But there's three parts to the answer, and I'm sure by the time I get through all of them, 100% of people should be satisfied with the answer that I give. Because some people feel like, oh, well, you haven't really considered everything. Okay, so let's look at it. There is the political, which is my representative position, the duties that I carry out, which are part of my literal power. That's part of the literal power that I have. And then there's the ancient equation. There's an ancient equation of power, which is technically an objective analysis. Okay, so now that we've gone through the introduction, let's start with the political, because that is the most subjective. The most subjective part of the analysis, for the reason why I gave myself the title, and I accepted the position and the title from the universe. Politically, I was chosen. I was chosen politically by the university. The university is a microcosm of the entire universe. That is something that has been conceded and admitted by Washington University in St. Louis itself, as well as the members. So there are members of our society that can see that it is a microcosm of the entire universe. So people are being represented. They're represented fairly according to their own volition and will. That's the number one thing to remember. Number two, since I am a representative of the people and I have been chosen according to my qualifications, we're assuming that everyone is relinquishing power because they are 100% certain that things will go according to the way of the proper universe. So I have a very valid political representative position, and that is Empress of all the Americas. That is part of the reason I am the most powerful person in the entire universe. It's who I represent. Okay? So the position and the population have been established as a fact, but the subjective side of that is it's a political process. So through the political process, the university is what chose me, and the university is a microcosm of the universe, so therefore it is valid. Okay, that's a subjective part of it, but it's still valid. The next point is the ancient equation. That is actually an objective analysis of power based on pi. So it's an equation of power. I really don't want to go into it in depth just because I want to allow people time to read my research paper, because I've done an entire thesis on this model of power. With that being said, the ancient scrolls and the way that people have always performed and the way that they have always lived their life are very much a part of the analysis. So it does contain some portions which can be looked at as subjective, but it is overall very much a mathematical equation based on pi, and it's an objective analysis of power according to ancient scrolls and ancient text, ancient prophecy, things of that nature. All right. The last portion of it is my royal duty. Now, everyone is going to have different duties, and it just so happens that because I live in the United States of America, my largest duty is being a great employer. That is technically my royal duty. My royal duty is to manage my companies well. Now, everyone is approaching me and they're saying, that sounds like something that you got off of Zygus. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is something I got off of Zygus. But remember, that's a cultural revolution. That's something that was given to me in truth. So I don't consider it to be just a conspiracy or a theory. That is actually a fact. That when you're able to manage that many people and they're living off of your money and they are living according to a society of workers, you technically run a nation. So that is to answer the questions. I will be happy to go further into it, but from what I've already explained in this video, which we will come back to, you will be satisfied with why I am granted the title of most powerful person in the universe. So this is technically part 2 in that particular allvoices.com interview. I am going to end the video, but when I rejoin you in the near future, I'm going to give the same answer. I just want people to be aware of that, because I'm going to repeat this same answer. When I'm going into interviews, I'm going to be in interviews. I'm going to be doing all types of press releases, all types of events, and I want to see how creative journalists are, but we all have to stick to the facts. And when we come back to the underlying base answer, everyone is going to agree with what I just said, because it's the truth. So, alright, now that we discussed that, I'm going to go ahead and leave it alone. I'm just giving you a heads up, because I'm going to be repeating the same information. So I do rehearse at home some of the things that I go over with you. The things that I go over with you, I actually commit to in my own life. With that being said, I am going to post this on all of my magazines. Today is the 8th of August, 2014. And I'm so appreciative to you all for allowing us to make the truth known, because without platforms like this, we would never be able to get the facts of the entire situation. So thank you so much. I love you all very much. And you probably do have reservations, but everyone is going to have a point in their life where they're able to do something like this for themselves. And with that being said, it's the truth. It's a fact, and I don't have to accept your truth or your fact and incorporate it into my actual life. And I guess it goes both ways. You wouldn't have to either. I'm just kind of making people aware and hoping that they see what I see. Anyways, this is going in a direction that I think is kind of unraveling emotions, and we want to stick to the facts. Therefore, it's time to rejoin at a later time, but I'm really happy that I'm able to explain it in such a very academic and satisfying manner. Good evening.